Illuminate Peak delighted to welcome you to our channel. All your habits are grown in you to give you some deep experiences. When its work is done, it will go back the way it came. In any situation, just hold on to the courage that is frozen inside you and your good times will unfold before you. I have a lot of faith in you. Because I am your deep conscience. My heartiest wishes for your success journey, my friend. Please subscribe to our channel if you want. Come now, let's learn what we can from this story. Breaking Free, a journey of hope and transformation. In this compelling and uplifting tale, join Galen as he embarks on a courageous journey to overcome a destructive porn-watching habit. Through the power of vulnerability, self-compassion, and unwavering determination, he breaks free from the chains of addiction, finding hope, healing, and newfound purpose. This inspiring story explores the strength within to overcome challenges, embrace growth, and savor the beauty of life's precious moments. Get ready to be captivated by Galen's triumph over darkness and be inspired to embrace your own journey of hope and transformation. Chapter 1: The Awakening. My name is Galen, and I remember the day when everything changed. It was an ordinary afternoon, and I found myself aimlessly browsing the internet. Little did I know that this day would mark the beginning of a profound transformation. As I mindlessly clicked through various websites, I stumbled upon a book titled The Porn Trap by Carnes. Curiosity got the better of me, and I started reading the book's synopsis. The words resonated with me, and I felt a spark of recognition deep within. I realized that I had been trapped in the snare of pornography without even fully comprehending it. What had started as innocent curiosity had turned into a habit that consumed my thoughts and time. I had become entangled in a web that seemed impossible to escape. The porn trap illuminated the reality of my addiction, and I saw the destructive impact it had on my life. I began to understand how it influenced my relationships, self-esteem, and overall well-being. I couldn't deny the grip it had on me any longer. As I continued to read, a mix of emotions washed over me: shame, guilt, and fear of the unknown. However, intertwined with those negative feelings was a glimmer of hope. A seed of determination was planted within me, urging me to break free from this trap once and for all. The words on those pages were a wake-up call, and I knew that I had to take action. Ignorance was no longer an excuse, and I felt a sense of responsibility to myself and my loved ones. In that moment of awakening, I made a commitment to change. I realized that the journey ahead wouldn't be easy, but I was willing to face the challenges head-on. It was time to confront the addiction and regain control of my life. With the support of the porn trap as my guide, I embarked on a path of self-discovery and healing. I knew that the first step was acknowledging the problem, and I did just that. I faced myself in the mirror and said, "I am addicted, but I am not defined by this addiction." The days that followed were filled with introspection and soul-searching. I unraveled the underlying reasons behind my addiction, addressing the emotional voids I had been trying to fill with pornography. It was an uncomfortable process, but I knew it was essential for my growth. I reached out to a close friend I trusted and confessed my struggles. Talking about it out loud made it real, but it also lifted a weight off my shoulders. My friend showed unwavering support, assuring me that I wasn't alone in this battle. As I continued to read The Porn Trap, I gained valuable insights into the science behind addiction and the brain's neuroplasticity. Understanding the psychological aspects of my addiction empowered me to make conscious choices and rewrite my brain's patterns. Chapter 1 marked the beginning of a new chapter in my life, a chapter of self-awareness and transformation. I was no longer a prisoner of pornography. I was on a journey of liberation and healing. Though the path ahead was uncertain, I felt a newfound sense of hope and determination. I was ready to face the challenges, to embrace the discomfort, and to emerge stronger on the other side. This was the beginning of my journey to break free from the porn trap, and I knew that with each passing day, I was moving closer to a life of empowerment, purpose, and authentic connection. This was the awakening that would change everything. Chapter 2: The Trap Unveiled. As I delved deeper into the porn trap, I uncovered the insidious nature of my addiction. Each page peeled back another layer, revealing the complexity of the web I had entangled myself in. The book shed light on the powerful allure of pornography and how it could hijack the brain's reward system. I learned about the release of dopamine, the neurotransmitter responsible for pleasure and reinforcement. With every click and image, my brain had become wired to seek out that instant gratification. The more I read, the more I understood that this wasn't just a fleeting habit. It was a genuine addiction with serious consequences for my mental, emotional, and even physical well-being. The porn trap had ensnared me, but now that I saw it for what it was, I was determined to escape. Through the pages, I encountered stories of others who had fallen into the same trap. Their experiences mirrored my own struggles, and I found solace in knowing that I wasn't alone. Reading about their journeys to recovery ignited a flicker of hope within me. One crucial aspect of the book was recognizing the distinction between pornography use and genuine intimacy. I came to understand that relying on pornography for satisfaction hindered my ability to form meaningful connections with others. It had become a barrier preventing me from experiencing authentic love and intimacy. The deeper I ventured into the porn trap, the more I realized the negative impact it had on my self-esteem and body image. Consuming unrealistic depictions of intimacy had distorted my perception of relationships and beauty, leading me down a path of dissatisfaction and self-doubt. With each revelation, I faced a mixture of emotions, guilt, shame, and regret. But I refused to let these emotions drag me back into the trap. Instead, I channeled them into a firm resolve to break free. Armed with newfound knowledge, I began implementing practical strategies suggested in the book to distance myself from the addiction. I set boundaries by limiting my access to pornography and deleting any saved content. I replaced old habits with healthier ones, such as exercising, journaling, and pursuing my passions. One of the most significant challenges I encountered was dealing with triggers, situations, emotions, or stressors that would normally push me towards pornography. The book emphasized the importance of developing coping mechanisms to manage these triggers effectively. I discovered that mindfulness and meditation were invaluable tools in staying present and centered. By acknowledging my emotions without judgment, I could prevent myself from seeking refuge in pornography. Gradually, I felt more in control of my impulses and less enslaved by the addiction. Reading The Porn Trap was both enlightening and challenging. It was a journey of self-discovery that forced me to confront uncomfortable truths about myself. But as I faced my inner demons, I also discovered a strength I hadn't known existed within me. Day by day, the grip of the porn trap loosened its hold on me. I learned to appreciate the simple pleasures of life, finding joy in the little things that I had once overlooked. Every step I took towards recovery fueled my determination to break the chains that had bound me for so long. The Porn Trap was not just a book, it was a lifeline. It guided me through the dark and treacherous waters of addiction and showed me that I had the power to navigate towards the light. Each chapter one read brought me closer to liberation, and with every page, I grew stronger. The journey had just begun, but I was no longer a passive victim of the porn trap. I had unveiled its deceitful allure, and I was determined to reclaim my life, my authenticity, and my ability to connect deeply with others. As I closed Chapter 2, I knew that this was only the beginning of a remarkable transformation that lay ahead. Chapter 3: The Struggle Within. With the knowledge gained from the porn trap, I entered a new phase of my journey, a phase filled with both triumphs and setbacks. Breaking free from the clutches of pornography was no easy task, and I soon realized that the struggle within myself was far from over. As I ventured further into my recovery, I encountered moments of weakness and vulnerability. The addiction's grip was still strong, and old habits die hard. There were days when the temptation seemed overwhelming, and I found myself on the brink of relapse. In those moments of internal turmoil, I had to dig deep and remind myself why I embarked on this journey in the first place. I recalled the pain and damage caused by my addiction, not just to myself but to those I cared about. I couldn't allow myself to fall back into the trap and undo all the progress I had made. To navigate through the struggle within, I leaned on the support system I had built. My close friend, who knew about my journey, became my confidant and anchor. His unwavering belief in my ability to overcome the addiction gave me the strength to persevere. I also sought solace in the support groups recommended by the Porn Trap. Connecting with others who were battling similar demons was a profound experience. Sharing our stories, struggles, and triumphs fostered a sense of camaraderie that was both empowering and uplifting. The struggle within wasn't just about avoiding pornography, it was also about redefining my relationship with myself. For years, I had used pornography to escape from my problems and emotions, but now, I had to learn healthier ways to cope. In therapy, I confronted the underlying emotional wounds that had contributed to my addiction. Through counseling, I gained insight into the deeper issues I had been trying to suppress, and I learned to express my feelings openly instead of seeking refuge in harmful behaviors. Despite my progress, there were still moments of doubt. The voice of addiction whispered seductively in my ear, trying to lure me back into its grasp. But I had come too far to surrender to those whispers. During moments of weakness, I would revisit the chapters of the Porn Trap that had resonated with me the most. I would reread the stories of those who had triumphed over their addictions, reminding myself that I too could find freedom. Understanding the cycle of addiction was crucial in overcoming the struggle within. I knew that urges and cravings would come and go, but if I could ride them out without giving in, they would eventually lose their power. With each passing day of resistance, I felt a growing sense of self-control and empowerment. The struggle within became an opportunity for growth, a chance to redefine who I was and what I stood for. As I reached the end of Chapter 3, I realized that the struggle within was not a sign of weakness but a testament to my resilience. It was an integral part of the recovery process, teaching me to face challenges head-on and emerge stronger on the other side. I knew that the journey to freedom was far from over, but I had overcome the initial hurdles, proving to myself that I was capable of breaking the chains of addiction. With a renewed sense of purpose and determination, I embraced the struggle within, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The transformation was happening within me, and I was determined to see it through till the very end. Chapter 4: Seeking Support. As I continued my journey to break free from the porn trap, I realized that seeking support was an essential component of my recovery. I couldn't do this alone, and reaching out for help became a pivotal step in my transformation. Opening up to my close friend about my struggles was the first brave step I took. His unwavering support and understanding were like a lifeline during my darkest moments. Knowing that he was there for me, ready to listen without judgment, gave me the courage to face my challenges head-on. But I also recognized that there was a limit to what my friend could do. To truly tackle my addiction, I needed the guidance of professionals who specialized in dealing with porn addiction. Encouraged by the book, I decided to seek professional help. I found a therapist who had experience in treating addiction, and our sessions became a safe space for me to explore the roots of my addiction and confront the emotional pain I had been avoiding. Through therapy, I learned healthy coping mechanisms to replace my reliance on pornography. Moreover, my therapist introduced me to support groups specifically tailored for individuals battling porn addiction. Joining these groups was a turning point in my recovery journey. Here, I found a community of people who understood what I was going through because they had been there too. In these support groups, I discovered that I was not alone in my struggle. Sharing our experiences, strengths, and hopes created a sense of camaraderie that brought comfort and encouragement. It was empowering to witness the transformation of others and to be inspired by their stories of triumph. As the bonds within the support groups grew stronger, we became accountability partners for one another. We held each other responsible for our actions, and this mutual support played a crucial role in keeping me on track. But seeking support wasn't just about sharing my struggles, it was also about being there for others. I realized that offering a listening ear and providing encouragement to fellow group members not only strengthened our bond, but also reinforced my commitment to my own recovery. As I immersed myself in the support of my friend, therapist, and support groups, I felt a shift within me. The burden I had carried alone for so long was now shared, and the weight on my shoulders became lighter. I no longer felt the need to hide my struggles, and the shame I once carried began to dissipate. In the safety of these supportive environments, I confronted my vulnerabilities and fears. I was encouraged to celebrate my victories, no matter how small, and to learn from my setbacks without self-condemnation. This environment of acceptance and encouragement gave me the space to grow and heal. With the guidance of professionals and the camaraderie of my peers, I discovered that seeking support wasn't a sign of weakness but a testament to my strength. It took courage to admit that I needed help and to be vulnerable with others. In return, I gained a network of allies who were invested in my well-being. Chapter 4 marked a significant shift in my recovery journey. The power of support, coupled with the wisdom I gleaned from the porn trap, was propelling me forward. The struggle within was gradually subsiding, replaced by a sense of hope and determination. I wasn't alone in this fight, and that realization made all the difference. As I turned the page to the next chapter, I knew that seeking support would be an integral part of my ongoing transformation. Chapter 5: Discovering Purpose. As I continued my journey towards freedom from the porn trap, I stumbled upon an unexpected and profound revelation: the discovery of my true purpose in life. The porn trap had provided the foundation for my transformation, and now, I was ready to explore a path that would lead me to a fulfilling and meaningful existence. Through therapy and support groups, I had peeled back the layers of addiction and confronted the emotional wounds that had contributed to my reliance on pornography. As I became more attuned to my thoughts and emotions, I realized that my addiction had been a way of escaping from the deeper issues I needed to address. In the process of healing, I unearthed my passions and interests that had been buried beneath the weight of addiction. I rekindled old hobbies and explored new ones, seeking out activities that brought me joy and a sense of purpose. I found solace in nature, spending time outdoors and connecting with the world around me. The serenity of the natural world offered a respite from the noise and distractions of the digital realm. It was in those quiet moments that I began to understand my purpose more clearly. Through introspection, I realized that my journey of overcoming addiction could be a source of inspiration for others. I recognized the power of my story and how sharing it with honesty and vulnerability could help those who were still trapped in the same struggle. Driven by this newfound sense of purpose, I started a blog where I chronicled my experiences and insights. Through my writing, I aim to destigmatize addiction and create a safe space for others to share their stories without shame. The feedback I received from readers was overwhelming, and I knew I was on the right path. But discovering purpose wasn't just about external pursuits. It was also about developing a sense of inner peace and aligning my actions with my values. I reevaluated my priorities and made conscious choices that nourished my well-being and contributed positively to the world. My relationships transformed as well. I learned to communicate authentically, expressing my needs and emotions with honesty and vulnerability. As I shed the shackles of addiction, my connections with others deepened, and I experienced a level of intimacy and authenticity that had eluded me before. Each day, as I lived in alignment with my purpose, I felt a sense of fulfillment and contentment that I had never known. My life had taken on a new dimension, and the struggles of the past seemed distant, like a fading memory. As I approached each new day with intention and clarity, I felt a renewed sense of hope and optimism. I was no longer merely surviving, I was thriving, embracing the beauty of life and all its complexities. In discovering my purpose, I realized that my addiction had been a detour on the path to self-realization. It had been a catalyst for growth and transformation, guiding me towards a deeper understanding of myself and the world around me. Chapter 5 marked a turning point in my journey. I had moved beyond the struggle of addiction and emerged with a renewed sense of purpose and passion for life. The path ahead was still uncertain, but I was no longer afraid of what lay ahead. I had found my North Star, and with every step, I was becoming the person I was meant to be. As I turned the page to the next chapter, I knew that the journey of self-discovery and purpose was just beginning. Chapter 6: Facing Triggers. As I continued on my path of recovery, I encountered one of the most challenging aspects of breaking free from the porn trap: facing triggers. Triggers were the situations, emotions, or stressors that would tempt me to return to my old addiction. I knew that to maintain my progress, I needed to develop healthier ways of coping with these triggers. In the past, whenever I faced stress or emotional turmoil, I would seek solace in pornography. It became my default escape, numbing the pain temporarily. But now, armed with the insights from the porn trap and the support of my therapist and peers, I was determined to confront these triggers head-on. One of the first steps in facing triggers was identifying them. I took the time to reflect on the patterns of my past behaviors. Stressful days at work, conflicts in relationships, or feelings of loneliness were some of the common triggers that had led me towards pornography. With the help of my support system, I developed a plan to manage these triggers more effectively. Instead of succumbing to the temptation of pornography, I explored healthier coping mechanisms. I learned to channel my emotions through creative outlets like writing, painting, and playing music. Mindfulness and meditation became invaluable tools in my arsenal. Through these practices, I learned to stay present in the moment and observe my thoughts without judgment. This newfound awareness helped me recognize the triggers as they arose, allowing me to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Support group meetings became a sanctuary where I could openly discuss my struggles with triggers. Sharing my experiences and listening to others' stories offered valuable insights and strategies. It was in these vulnerable moments that I felt a true sense of connection and understanding. When faced with triggers, I found refuge in physical activities like jogging, yoga, and hiking. Exercise not only provided a healthy outlet for stress but also released endorphins that improved my mood and overall well-being. At times, the allure of my old addiction would intensify, especially during moments of vulnerability. During those challenging moments, I reminded myself of the progress I had made and the life I wanted to live. I visualized my future self, free from the chains of addiction, and that vision motivated me to stay strong. There were moments when I stumbled and faced setbacks. Relapses were disheartening, but I refused to let them define my journey. I learned to be compassionate with myself, understanding that recovery wasn't linear, and it was okay to take one step back as long as I kept moving forward. Facing triggers was a continuous process, but with each confrontation, I gained a deeper understanding of myself. I learned to navigate the waves of temptation with resilience and determination. As the days turned into weeks, and the weeks turned into months, I noticed a shift within me. The triggers that once had a tight grip on me began to lose their power. I was no longer a passive victim, I had taken control of my life and my choices. Chapter 6 was a testament to the strength I had cultivated in facing my triggers. It was a reminder that I was capable of overcoming the challenges that life threw my way. Armed with healthier coping mechanisms and a renewed sense of self, I continued on my transformative journey, embracing every moment as an opportunity for growth and healing. Chapter 7: Embracing Vulnerability. As I progressed on my journey of recovery, I learned that embracing vulnerability was an integral part of healing and transformation. For so long, I had shielded myself from showing my true emotions and struggles, but now I understood that vulnerability was not a weakness, it was a source of strength. In the safety of my support groups and therapy sessions, I began to open up about the depths of my addiction and the impact it had on my life. Sharing my experiences, fears, and insecurities with others allowed me to release the emotional burdens I had carried for far too long. Through vulnerability, I found that the support I received was unwavering. My peers in the support groups offered empathy and understanding because they had walked similar paths. Their validation and encouragement gave me the courage to continue sharing my story. Embracing vulnerability also meant confronting the shame and guilt that had been ingrained within me due to my addiction. With the guidance of my therapist, I explored the roots of these feelings and learned to separate them from my true self-worth. I discovered that vulnerability was a gateway to authentic connections with others. As I allowed myself to be seen and heard, I found a profound sense of intimacy that had been absent in my life during the throes of addiction. Genuine connections were forged as others reciprocated by sharing their vulnerabilities as well. In facing my vulnerability, I learned to forgive myself for the mistakes of the past. I accepted that my struggles with addiction did not define me, they were part of a larger journey towards growth and self-discovery. The process of embracing vulnerability also extended to my relationships with loved ones. I started to communicate more openly with those closest to me, sharing my journey of recovery and acknowledging the impact my addiction had on them. This level of transparency deepened our bonds, and I felt a newfound sense of trust and understanding between us. As I let go of the fear of judgment and embraced my vulnerability, I found a sense of freedom that I had never experienced before. It was liberating to know that I could be my authentic self without the weight of shame holding me back. Through vulnerability, I discovered my voice. I became an advocate for those facing similar struggles, using my story to inspire and encourage others to seek help and support. I realized that sharing my vulnerabilities not only helped me heal but also contributed to the healing of others. The journey of embracing vulnerability was not without its challenges. There were moments when old habits resurfaced, tempting me to retreat back into the safety of secrecy. However, I had tasted the power of vulnerability, and I was determined to continue down this path. As Chapter 7 unfolded, I realized that embracing vulnerability was a lifelong practice. It wasn't a destination but an ongoing process of growth and self-discovery. By allowing myself to be vulnerable, I opened the door to a life of authenticity, connection, and emotional freedom. The transformation I had undergone was not solely about breaking free from addiction. It was about embracing vulnerability as a tool for healing and personal growth. With each step forward, I embraced vulnerability as an integral part of my journey, knowing that it would lead me to a life filled with courage, compassion, and meaningful connections. As I turned the page to the next chapter, I welcomed vulnerability as a companion on this transformative path. Chapter 8: Healing Relationships. As I continued on my journey of recovery, I realized that my addiction had not only taken a toll on myself but had also strained my relationships with those I cared about the most. Chapter 8 was a chapter of healing the wounds of the past, rebuilding trust, and nurturing the connections that were so essential to my well-being. With newfound clarity and vulnerability, I began to address the impact my addiction had on my loved ones. I acknowledged the pain and hurt I had caused and took responsibility for my actions. It was a humbling experience, but I knew that true healing could only begin with honesty and remorse. I reached out to those I had hurt and initiated open and honest conversations. In these difficult discussions, I listened without defensiveness, allowing them to express their feelings and concerns. I didn't expect immediate forgiveness, I simply wanted to show them that I was committed to change. As I continued my therapy sessions, I delved deeper into the dynamics of my relationships. I learned to communicate more effectively, expressing my feelings and needs without shame or blame. I also practiced active listening, seeking to understand the perspectives and emotions of my loved ones. Healing relationships meant being patient and giving time for wounds to mend. I recognized that rebuilding trust was a gradual process, and it required consistency in my actions. I showed my commitment to change through my words and deeds, striving to be reliable and accountable. I also encouraged my loved ones to express their feelings and concerns openly. I didn't want them to hide their emotions or pretend that everything was okay. I wanted to create a safe space where we could all share our struggles and support one another in our healing journey. In moments of difficulty, I leaned on my support system for guidance. My therapist helped me navigate the complexities of family dynamics, and my support group provided encouragement during challenging times. I realized that I didn't have to go through this healing process alone. I had a network of allies who understood and empathized. As I worked on healing my relationships, I discovered a newfound appreciation for the people in my life. Breaking free from my addiction allowed me to be fully present with them, cherishing the moments we shared without the shadow of shame or secrecy. Through this healing process, I learned that relationships are not perfect, but they are worth investing in. We all have our struggles, and by being honest and vulnerable with one another, we can grow together and support each other's journey. Healing relationships was not just about repairing the past, it was also about creating a future built on trust, love, and understanding. As the wounds began to heal, I felt a sense of renewal and hope for the future. Chapter 8 was a turning point in my recovery journey. By acknowledging the pain I had caused and actively working on healing relationships, I experienced the true power of transformation. The connections I nurtured became a source of strength, and the love and support I received fueled my determination to stay on the path of healing and growth. As I turned the page to the next chapter, I knew that healing relationships was an ongoing process. But with each step, I was building a foundation of trust and connection that would sustain me throughout my journey of recovery. And with a heart filled with gratitude and love, I embraced the possibilities of the future, knowing that the healing of my relationships was a testament to the person I had become, someone who was committed to growth, compassion, and genuine connection. Chapter 9: Cultivating Self-Compassion. As I continued my transformative journey, I realized that an essential aspect of my healing was cultivating self-compassion. For so long, I had been harsh and critical towards myself, burdened by shame and self-judgment. But now, I understood that to truly break free from the porn trap, I needed to treat myself with the same kindness and understanding that I would offer to a friend. In therapy, I learned about the power of self-compassion and its role in healing from addiction. I recognized that my addiction was a symptom of deeper emotional pain and unresolved wounds. Rather than berating myself for falling into the trap, I began to offer myself the comfort and compassion that I deserved. I practiced self-compassion by challenging the negative self-talk that had plagued me for so long. When I made mistakes or experienced setbacks, I reminded myself that I was only human, and recovery was a process that involved ups and downs. Mindfulness played a crucial role in cultivating self-compassion. I became more aware of my thoughts and emotions, noticing when I was being overly critical of myself. Instead of allowing these thoughts to consume me, I gently redirected my focus towards self-kindness. I started to treat myself with the same care and empathy I would show to a friend who was struggling. I offered words of encouragement and understanding, acknowledging that recovery was a challenging journey, but I was doing the best I could. Practicing self-compassion allowed me to forgive myself for the mistakes of the past. I recognized that my addiction had been a coping mechanism, and in the absence of healthier tools, I had turned to pornography to numb my pain. As I cultivated self-compassion, I also embraced self-care as a priority. I made time for activities that nourished my soul, such as reading, spending time in nature, and engaging in creative pursuits. Taking care of myself physically, emotionally, and mentally became a way of showing myself love and respect. In moments of vulnerability, when triggers threatened to pull me back into old patterns, self-compassion became my anchor. Instead of succumbing to shame and guilt, I treated myself with gentleness and understanding. I reminded myself that recovery was a journey of progress, not perfection. By cultivating self-compassion, I began to see myself through a lens of acceptance and love. I no longer defined myself by my past mistakes. I saw myself as a person capable of growth and transformation. As I continued on this path of self-compassion, I noticed a shift in how I related to others as well. By being kinder to myself, I was able to extend more empathy and compassion to those around me. My relationships deepened, and I experienced a sense of connection and understanding that was profoundly rewarding. Chapter 9 was a chapter of self-discovery and liberation. Through the practice of self-compassion, I found the freedom to be authentic, vulnerable, and imperfect. It was a reminder that I was deserving of love and understanding not just from others, but from myself. With self-compassion as my guiding light, I embraced every aspect of my journey with grace and acceptance. The porn trap had once ensnared me in a cycle of shame and addiction, but now I had found a new way forward, a path of healing, growth, and self-love. As I turned the page to the next chapter, I knew that cultivating self-compassion would continue to be a daily practice. But with each step, I was becoming more resilient, more compassionate, and more attuned to the beauty of my own humanity. And in this journey of self-discovery, I found a newfound appreciation for the person I was becoming, someone who was learning to love and accept themselves, imperfections and all. Chapter 10: A Renewed Vision. As I approached the final chapter of my transformative journey, I found myself standing at a crossroads of possibilities and potential. The path I had traveled had been challenging, filled with ups and downs, but it had led me to this moment of renewed vision and clarity. With the support of the porn trap, my therapist, support groups, and my own commitment to growth, I had broken free from the chains of addiction. I had faced my vulnerabilities, healed relationships, and cultivated self-compassion. Through it all, I had discovered my purpose and found strength in embracing vulnerability. Chapter 10 marked a turning point, where I embraced the possibilities of the future with hope and determination. My vision for my life had shifted, and I saw a path ahead filled with authenticity, connection, and meaningful contribution. I knew that the journey of recovery was not linear, and challenges might arise in the future. But armed with the wisdom I had gained and the tools I had cultivated, I was prepared to face whatever came my way. I envisioned a life built on a foundation of self-love and self-awareness. I understood that my worth was not determined by my past mistakes, but by the choices I made in the present. I no longer defined myself by my addiction. I saw myself as a person on a continuous journey of growth and self-improvement. With my renewed vision, I became more intentional about my actions and choices. I surrounded myself with positive influences and sought out relationships that nurtured my well-being. I continued to prioritize self-care, recognizing that taking care of myself was not selfish but essential for my ability to show up fully for others. As I moved forward, I knew that my purpose extended beyond my own healing. I wanted to be a beacon of hope and inspiration for others who were struggling with addiction. Through my blog and other platforms, I shared my story with honesty and vulnerability, hoping that it would touch the lives of those who needed it most. I envisioned a future where discussions around addiction were destigmatized, and individuals felt empowered to seek help without shame. I saw a world where support and compassion were readily available to those battling their demons. My renewed vision also extended to the relationships in my life. I was committed to continuing the work of healing and nurturing connections with my loved ones. I vowed to show up as my authentic self, offering empathy and understanding in return. In this new chapter of my life, I felt a profound sense of gratitude for the journey I had undertaken. The challenges I had faced had shaped me into a person I could be proud of. My struggles with addiction had become a source of strength and resilience, empowering me to support others on their own paths of recovery. As I closed the final chapter of my transformative story, I knew that the journey was far from over. Life would undoubtedly present new challenges and opportunities for growth. But with a renewed vision and a heart filled with hope, I felt ready to embrace whatever came next. My journey had been a testament to the power of self-awareness, vulnerability, and compassion. Breaking free from the porn trap had been a transformative experience, and I was forever grateful for the wisdom and guidance I had found within the porn trap. With the final words written, I knew that this was not the end of the story but rather the beginning of a new chapter in my life, a chapter of purpose, connection, and ongoing growth. And as I turned the page to the next unwritten chapter, I embarked on the journey with a heart full of gratitude, a mind filled with possibility, and a spirit ready to embrace the beautiful adventure that lay ahead. Chapter 11: Helping Others. As my journey of transformation continued, I felt a calling to extend a helping hand to those who were still trapped in the shadows of addiction. Chapter 11 was a chapter of service, a chapter where I dedicated myself to being a beacon of hope and support for others who were battling their own demons. Having experienced the struggles and triumphs of overcoming addiction, I knew that I had a unique perspective to offer. My blog had already become a platform for sharing my story, but now I wanted to do more. I wanted to connect with individuals one-on-one, to listen to their stories, and to be a guiding light on their path to recovery. I sought out volunteer opportunities with organizations that focused on addiction recovery. Through these experiences, I had the chance to support individuals who were at various stages of their own journeys. I listened without judgment, offering empathy and understanding, just as others had done for me. As I shared my story, I saw the impact it had on those I connected with. It sparked a glimmer of hope in their eyes, a realization that they were not alone in their struggles. I reminded them that recovery was possible and that they were capable of reclaiming their lives. In the support groups, I became a source of inspiration for newcomers. I shared my vulnerabilities and setbacks, demonstrating that healing was not a linear process. I emphasized the importance of self-compassion and encouraged them to be gentle with themselves as they navigated their own paths. Helping others wasn't just about sharing my story, it was also about providing resources and tools that had aided me on my journey. I recommended books, podcasts, and other materials that had been invaluable in my recovery. I knew that these resources could be a lifeline for those in need. In my interactions, I focused on creating a safe and non-judgmental space where individuals could express themselves freely. I wanted to break down the barriers of shame and isolation, encouraging open conversations about addiction and mental health. As I helped others, I witnessed the power of human connection and the profound impact it could have on someone's recovery. Being a part of someone else's journey towards healing filled me with a sense of purpose and fulfillment that I had never known before. In the process of helping others, I continued to learn and grow. Each individual I connected with brought a unique perspective to the table, deepening my understanding of addiction and recovery. Their resilience and determination inspired me to continue my own journey of self-discovery and personal growth. Chapter 11 was a chapter of service, where I found meaning in extending a hand to those in need. By sharing my story, offering empathy, and being a source of support, I played a small but vital role in helping others break free from the chains of addiction. As I turned the page to the next chapter, I knew that my journey of service would continue to evolve. There were countless individuals out there who needed support and understanding, and I was determined to be a beacon of hope for as many as I could reach. The transformative power of helping others had changed my life in profound ways. It had given my own journey of recovery a sense of purpose and meaning that I could not have anticipated. And in this chapter of service, I embraced the opportunity to be a force for good in the lives of others, a force that would ripple outwards, touching hearts and sparking a chain reaction of healing and transformation. Chapter 12: Empowerment and Freedom. As I arrived at the final chapter of my transformative story, I stood at the summit of my journey, a journey of empowerment and freedom. The trials and triumphs had led me to a place of profound self-discovery, where I had uncovered the strength and resilience within me. Empowered by the knowledge and insights gained from the porn trap, I had dismantled the chains that once bound me to addiction. I had faced my vulnerabilities, healed relationships, and cultivated self-compassion. I had embraced vulnerability, discovered my purpose, and found joy in helping others on their paths to recovery. I now understood that freedom was not merely the absence of addiction, it was a state of mind and a way of life. I had liberated myself from the patterns of self-destructive behavior and replaced them with a newfound sense of self-awareness and self-control. In this chapter of empowerment and freedom, I stood tall and proud, knowing that I had taken ownership of my life. I was no longer a victim of circumstances, I was the architect of my destiny. I celebrated my victories, both big and small, recognizing that each step forward was a testament to my determination and growth. I acknowledged that setbacks were part of the journey, but they did not define me. With each setback, I regrouped, learned from the experience, and moved forward with renewed determination. Empowerment also meant acknowledging my strengths and talents. I recognized that my struggles with addiction had given me a unique perspective and a profound empathy for others facing similar challenges. I felt a deep sense of purpose in using my experiences to make a positive impact in the lives of those in need. With freedom came a sense of liberation from the burdens of the past. I had let go of the shame and guilt that had held me captive, embracing my imperfections and vulnerabilities as essential parts of my humanity. I found freedom in the present moment, fully immersing myself in the beauty of life without the numbing effects of addiction. The colors were brighter, the laughter was sweeter, and every experience was filled with a sense of wonder and gratitude. Empowerment and freedom also meant making conscious choices about the direction of my life. I set clear intentions and goals, knowing that I had the power to shape my future. I no longer felt constrained by the limitations of my past, I saw the vast potential that lay ahead. With my newfound empowerment, I continued to be a source of support and encouragement for others on their own journeys of recovery. I knew that my story had the potential to inspire hope in the hearts of those who felt lost and trapped. As I reflected on my transformation, I realized that the power to change had been within me all along. The porn trap had provided the knowledge and guidance, but it was my own willingness to face my vulnerabilities and embrace change that had set me free. Chapter 12 marked the culmination of my transformative story, a story of empowerment and freedom. It was a celebration of resilience, growth, and the indomitable spirit of the human heart. As I closed the final chapter, I knew that my journey of empowerment and freedom would continue. Life was an ongoing process of learning, evolving, and embracing the beautiful tapestry of experiences that it offered. With a heart filled with gratitude, a mind open to new possibilities, and a spirit unyielding in its determination, I embarked on the next chapter of my life, a chapter where empowerment and freedom would be my guiding stars. And in this chapter, I welcomed the unknown with open arms, knowing that with every step forward, I would be the author of a story filled with courage, compassion, and the infinite power of transformation. Chapter 13, A New Chapter. As I turned the page to a new chapter in my life, I marveled at how far I had come on my journey of transformation. The previous chapters had been filled with challenges, growth, and profound self-discovery, but I knew that the story of my life was far from over. This new chapter held the promise of even greater possibilities and adventures. With the wisdom I had gained from the porn trap and the experiences of my own recovery, I felt a renewed sense of purpose and direction. I had overcome addiction, embraced vulnerability, and cultivated self-compassion. Empowered by the knowledge that I could create the life I desired, I was ready to embrace the blank pages before me. In this new chapter, I focused on deepening my connections with loved ones. I made a conscious effort to be fully present in each moment, cherishing the time spent with family and friends. Every conversation, every shared laughter, and every heartfelt embrace became a testament to the power of healing and the strength of human connection. As I continued to help others on their paths of recovery, I discovered that my purpose extended beyond addiction. I wanted to be a catalyst for positive change, inspiring individuals to rise above their challenges and pursue their dreams. My journey had taught me that every person had the capacity for transformation, and I was determined to be a source of encouragement and support. With newfound clarity, I also pursued my passions and interests with unwavering dedication. Writing, a skill I had discovered during my recovery, became a vehicle for expressing my thoughts, emotions, and insights. Through my words, I aimed to spark conversations and inspire change on a broader scale. In this new chapter, I sought out opportunities for personal growth and learning. I attended workshops, seminars, and courses that aligned with my interests. I hungered for knowledge and embraced every chance to expand my horizons and evolve as an individual. I also nurtured a sense of gratitude for the simple joys that life offered. A sunrise over the horizon, the sound of raindrops on my window, and the laughter of children playing in the park, these small moments became reminders of the beauty that surrounded me. As I stepped into this new chapter, I knew that challenges would still arise. Life was a journey of peaks and valleys, and I accepted that there would be moments of difficulty. But armed with the lessons I had learned, I faced each challenge with resilience and a determination to persevere. In this new chapter, I allowed myself to dream without limitations. I envisioned a future filled with possibilities, a future where I continued to grow, contribute, and touch the lives of others. My journey had taught me that the power to create change lay within me, and I was ready to embrace the canvas of my life and paint it with the colors of my dreams. With every turn of the page, I knew that the story of my life would continue to unfold. It was a story of transformation, empowerment, and freedom. As I embarked on this new chapter, I was filled with a sense of wonder and excitement, eager to see where the journey would lead me. With gratitude for the past, hope for the future, and the knowledge that I held the pen to my own narrative, I stepped forward into the unwritten pages of my life, a life filled with purpose, love, and the infinite potential for growth and transformation. And in this new chapter, I embraced the journey with open arms, ready to seize each moment and embrace the adventure that lay ahead. Chapter 14: Gratitude and Growth. As I continued to turn the pages of my life, Chapter 14 unfolded as a beautiful tapestry of gratitude and growth. It was a chapter where I reflected on the journey that had brought me to this point and celebrated the profound changes that had taken place within me. Gratitude became the foundation of my daily life. I woke up each morning with a heart full of thankfulness for the opportunities and experiences that awaited me. I expressed gratitude for the people who had supported me, the lessons I had learned, and the growth that had emerged from the challenges I had faced. In moments of joy and achievement, I savored the feeling of gratitude that permeated my being. I recognized that every milestone was a testament to my resilience and determination. I acknowledged the interconnectedness of my journey and the contributions of others in shaping my path. With gratitude as my compass, I focused on continued growth and personal development. I sought out new challenges and endeavors, knowing that each opportunity was a chance to expand my horizons and learn more about myself. I embraced the unknown with a sense of curiosity and enthusiasm, viewing every obstacle as an opportunity for growth. Whether it was a new career path, a relationship, or a personal goal, I approached it with an open mind, ready to learn and evolve. In this chapter of growth, I continued to invest in my mental, emotional, and physical well-being. I nurtured a daily practice of mindfulness and meditation, allowing me to stay present in each moment and maintain a sense of inner peace. I explored different forms of self-expression, using writing, art, and music as outlets for my thoughts and emotions. I also remained committed to helping others on their paths of recovery. The connections I had made through volunteering and supporting others in their struggles brought immeasurable fulfillment. I cherished the moments of connection, knowing that each interaction had the potential to ignite a spark of hope in someone's life. As I cultivated gratitude and growth, I found that my perspective on life had shifted. I had developed a greater sense of humility, acknowledging that my journey was interconnected with the journeys of countless others. I realized that by uplifting others, I, too, could rise higher. Chapter 14 was a chapter of celebration, a celebration of the person I had become and the person I was continuing to evolve into. It was a celebration of the love and support that had guided me through the darkest moments and the joy and inspiration that had filled my heart during times of triumph. With every turn of the page, I embraced the journey of life with a sense of wonder and awe. I knew that growth was a lifelong pursuit, and gratitude was the key that unlocked the door to a life filled with purpose and fulfillment. As I moved forward into the unwritten chapters of my life, I carried the lessons of gratitude and growth with me. They were the guiding stars that illuminated my path, reminding me of the infinite possibilities that lay ahead. With gratitude in my heart and a thirst for growth in my soul, I embarked on the adventure of a lifetime, a journey of continued learning, exploration, and transformation. And in this beautiful symphony of gratitude and growth, I danced to the rhythm of life, embracing each moment with a heart overflowing with love, compassion, and the unyielding spirit of resilience. Chapter 15: Embracing Life. As I arrived at Chapter 15, I felt a profound sense of contentment and fulfillment. It was a chapter of embracing life, a chapter where I wholeheartedly embraced the present moment and all that life had to offer. My journey of transformation had led me to this point, a point where I had broken free from the chains of addiction, cultivated self-awareness, and found empowerment and freedom. It was a journey that had been filled with challenges, but it had also been a journey of self-discovery, growth, and resilience. In this chapter, I savored the simple joys of everyday life, the warmth of the morning sun, the laughter of loved ones, and the beauty of nature. I no longer took these moments for granted, I relished them fully, knowing that life was a precious gift. With a heart filled with gratitude, I continued to nurture my connections with family and friends. I surrounded myself with individuals who uplifted and inspired me. I embraced the power of community, knowing that together, we could create positive change in the world. Embracing life also meant being open to new experiences and opportunities. I sought out adventures that stretched my comfort zone, allowing me to grow and evolve. Whether it was traveling to new places, taking up new hobbies, or pursuing new passions, I welcomed the richness that each experience brought. I remained committed to my personal growth and self-development. I continued to engage in mindfulness practices, fostering a sense of peace and clarity in my mind and heart. I recognized that my journey was an ongoing process of learning and evolving, and I embraced each opportunity for growth with enthusiasm. In this chapter, I continued to help others on their own paths of recovery. My experiences had shown me the power of empathy and understanding, and I was dedicated to being a source of support for those in need. Through my words, actions, and advocacy, I hope to inspire change and spread the message of hope and healing. As I embrace life, I also learned to let go of the need for perfection and control. I understood that life was unpredictable, and not every moment would be smooth sailing. Instead of clinging to expectations, I embraced the ebb and flow of life with grace and resilience. In this chapter, I allowed myself to dream without limits, pursuing my aspirations with determination and courage. I knew that every dream had the potential to become a reality with the right amount of dedication and perseverance. Embracing life was about living authentically and being true to myself. I had learned to trust my intuition and follow my heart, even when the path ahead was uncertain. I recognized that my journey was unique and that comparing myself to others would only hinder my growth. As I turned the pages of this chapter, I knew that my transformative journey would continue. Life was a continuous journey of exploration, self-discovery, and growth. And in this chapter of embracing life, I savored each moment, grateful for the person I had become and excited for the person I was becoming. With a heart filled with love, a spirit of adventure, and a mind open to endless possibilities, I embraced life with arms wide open. I knew that the pages ahead held untold stories, and I was eager to create a narrative that was filled with courage, compassion, and the limitless potential of the human spirit. As I continued to write the story of my life, I did so with gratitude for the past, hope for the future, and the profound joy of living each moment to the fullest. And in this beautiful symphony of embracing life, I danced to the rhythm of my own heart, knowing that the journey was not just about reaching a destination but embracing every step of the way. Epilogue, a journey of hope. As I reached the final pages of my transformative story, I reflected on the journey that had brought me to this point. It had been a journey of hope, a journey that had taken me from the depths of addiction and despair to a place of empowerment, compassion, and growth. In this epilogue, I looked back on the person I once was and marveled at the person I had become. The person who had once felt trapped and lost in the throes of addiction was now standing tall, with a renewed sense of purpose and a heart full of hope. The journey had not been easy, but it had been worth every step. Through the pages of The Porn Trap, I had found guidance and practical advice on how to break free from addiction. The book had opened my eyes to the power of vulnerability, self-compassion, and authentic connections. With the support of therapy and the camaraderie of support groups, I had found strength in sharing my story and being seen without judgment. My vulnerabilities had become sources of empowerment, reminding me that healing was not just about fixing what was broken but embracing every aspect of myself with love and acceptance. I had learned that addiction did not define me, it was a part of my story, but it did not have to be my ending. Through self-compassion, I had let go of the shame and guilt that had weighed me down, recognizing that my journey of growth was a testament to my strength, not my weakness. Helping others on their own paths of recovery had become a calling that filled my heart with purpose. The connections I had forged with fellow travelers had shown me the power of compassion and the resilience of the human spirit. In the epilogue of my journey of hope, I knew that the story was far from over. Life was a continuous journey, with new chapters waiting to be written. The road ahead might still hold challenges, but I faced the future with a spirit of resilience and a heart full of hope. With gratitude for the transformative power of my journey, I embraced the unknown with a sense of wonder and excitement. The path might not always be clear, but I knew that I had the tools and the resilience to navigate whatever lay ahead. As I turned the final pages of my story, I realized that it was not just a story of personal triumph but a story of hope for others facing their own battles. I hoped that my journey would inspire others to seek help, find hope in the darkest of moments, and discover the strength within themselves to rise above their challenges. The journey of hope was a journey of transformation, a journey where I had reclaimed my life, found purpose in helping others, and embraced the beauty of life with gratitude and courage. And so, with the closing of this chapter, I stepped into the unwritten pages of the future, ready to continue my journey of hope, a journey of infinite possibilities, resilience, and the unyielding belief that every ending was a new beginning, and every challenge was an opportunity for growth. In this journey of hope, I would embrace every moment, cherish every connection, and face the unknown with unwavering faith. And as the story of my life continued to unfold, I knew that the journey of hope would be an eternal flame, lighting the way for myself and others, guiding us towards a life of purpose, love, and the limitless power of transformation.